Let's see. I thought, another good day at camp yesterday. Good feeling in camp. We had some of our, higher leverage guys on the mound yesterday. I thought their bullpens went really well. Logan, also on the bullpen, or threw a bullpen yesterday, looked really good. First official day for the position players in the WBC. Again, there's just so many guys here and they're here early, and they're eager and they're ready to go. Just a great feeling in camp, and you just gotta love to see that energy.
It's weird. We haven't even asked you about Julio. I mean, honestly, I don't think I haven't talked to you. I mean, how's he look? He just seems like he's in a great spot mentally, coming off the second half of last year and what he found approach-wise at the plate.
Yeah, agreed. And you look at the season he had, and the big hits that he had for us. What he did for us in center field. I mean, he is coming off a really good year, and I do think he's in a good spot. He's had a good offseason. I love the fact, that he did what he did back in his hometown in terms of, helping the community build a baseball field there. Really a cool project that, a big part of. And I think he comes in this year ready to go, and he's got the WBC to look forward to as well, and get ready for that. So I think he's in a really good spot. I think he's put some work in, and anxious to see him get going.
In years past, he was always he was working on something with his setup or his swing. He wanted to change some stuff up. It does seem like what he did for the last 3 months or whatever, what he found is going to be sustainable. Do you think it leads to maybe better success early on because he's not working on stuff? He's figured out kind of who he wants to be as a hitter.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of what we do with our guys is we talk about their identity as players, and I think one of the things that Julio really did well was have a consistent mindset at the plate. And a lot of times we look for something mechanical, and it's not mechanical. It's more of a mindset. And when you talk about Gar and Seitz and Bobby and what they do and what they bring to the whole hitting process, sometimes there are mechanical adjustments that need to be made, and sometimes it's more of a mindset that needs to be made. And Julio has put the work in, and paid dividends down the stretch last year, and it does seem like that's something where he's going to pick up and where he left off, and continue what he's been doing.
How much can the WBC, with him in particular, he's typically really found his groove as you get into the summer months. How much can a playoff like atmosphere in March maybe help propel him to springboarding into opening day?
Yeah, I think in terms of the guys that are participating in the WBC, I think that can be a really positive thing, to get back out on the field into some higher emotional kind of games. That's kind of that's what they're yearning for. That's what they're used to coming off the postseason last year, and to get right back into it and get into some higher leverage games, I think is a really good thing for these guys. And Julio's no exception to that. I think he loves that kind of a stage and that spotlight, and I think for him to get a taste of that again here in spring is going to be a good thing.
There's been lots of guys who have said, they're a slow starter. I think Seager talked about it. He goes, I don't want to say I want to start fast, because then if I don't, then I'm in my head even more that I'm not. But how do you combat? I don't know what it was like for you as a player. Were you a slow starter in terms of offense, or did it just kind of go?
I think that I just wanted to be a consistent player. I don't know that I thought about starting slow or starting fast. And again, I think a lot of times as players we can get kind of caught up in results rather than where we are in our mindset. And I think having a consistent mindset will help us have consistent results on the field. And so I think that's a key for a player coming out of spring training, to feel prepared, number one, physically and mentally, but feel like you're in a consistent space as well. And that's, I think, that the key is coming out of here is feeling like you're in a spot where you can your floor is high. You're in a consistent spot where you can consistently contribute every single day. And we got a lot of guys in that clubhouse. If they consistently do what they do, we're going to be in a really good spot coming out.
We talked to Cal a little bit. He said he wants to play a lot of innings early and get kind of more in a game mode. With catchers, it's usually 3 innings and go. I mean, what's the communication like with him? I know you trust him implicitly based on what you've done over the last year and a half.
Yeah, we've tried to map out for each guy what it's going to look like. I think we've got to get close to 9 innings for some of these guys. Obviously, with catchers, that's a little trickier, but we're going to do our best to get there. But I think the number one thing throughout this whole process for the WBC is really just having open communication and working with the guys to figure out where they're at, how they feel. What's the next step in this process? We've got something laid out. But those are, sometimes just a baseline, and we'll have to make adjustments as we go. But I don't anticipate any trouble with our guys. I know Cal in particular, a guy that takes care of his body. He understands what he needs to do. I think, he'll definitely be ready and be in a place that he needs to be to compete at that level.
How about on the pitching side? Do you have a guesstimate of how many, Cactus League games, innings that you're targeting Gabe and Zardo and else?
Yeah, I think our pitching group has their plan in place too, and again, all that just relies on the communication from the player. Obviously, we're hoping to get them, the outings that they need to feel like they're in a good spot to go. In some ways, I think it's a little easier with relievers because they're going to kind of slot where they should anyway, and I think it'll be a little bit easier in terms of that. But again, it all depends on communication. It all depends on how these guys feel going forward. And so far, I think that things have gone according to plan, and we'll just keep making adjustments as we go.
Are you impressed at how Cal is able to compartmentalize everything that's asked of him while still preparing? Like, this is a guy that ultimately cares about the team and the pitchers and is winning, but then he also, people ask him to do stuff and he feels like it's the right thing. He's such a great ambassador for your organization. There have been guys you played with that struggled with that concept where a lot is asked, and then how do you fit it all in? It seems like he's done a good job of that.
Yeah, I think we talked about that a lot last year. Just the attention that he received, in doing what he was doing, and he was still able to really keep that in check and go out and continue to do what he did on the field, and the consistency with which he did it. It's pretty incredible, and seemingly all the off the field stuff that he's got on his plate, he handles that very well too. And I think he's been able to find a mental space when he gets to the ballpark, or when he gets to when it's time to play, where he's able to get to that spot, and that's where you need to be to perform. And some guys are able to do that pretty easily, and some guys have a harder time. But I think Cal has really mastered what he needs to do in a mindset to do all the things that are required of him, and he's done it very masterfully so far.
How much can going through last year for him in particular? It seems like he was saying yes to everything. How much can just the pressure, the lights, the expectations help maybe set the stage for him this year, where those expectations, team-wide, individually, are going to be naturally a little bit higher?
Yeah, I think in terms of expectations, I think our guys understand that it's really about the preparation that goes into the season, and that's where the focus needs to be. Not that you don't make your adjustments and changes as you go along, but it's easy to get distracted by the expectations. But I think Cal has a really good understanding of the preparation that needs to go in, the things that need to get done in order for those other things to happen. And I think that's what I think that's a big focus of our team down here in spring training, is taking care of the things we need to do down here to be prepared for the season that's ahead. The expectations, all that other stuff, can just be noise that we need to keep out, and keep from distracting us as we go forward.
Your pitching guys, your pitching lab, they've got all the stuff, and they send the message across. But how much can Ryan Sloan and Kate Anderson take away from bullpen sessions with Cal, or his feedback on what? Because he sees it.
Mm-hmm.
How important can that be for them?
It's huge, no doubt. I think one of the things that you know we all know about our organization and that we all love is just the environment that's been created here, and it's like you said, it's a lab, it's a learning environment here, and these guys feed off of that. I think our guys, our pitching staff. Loves being around for other guys' bullpens. They love being, Sloan and Cade love being around when our guys are throwing. So, like, there's just great, information sharing that goes on, and that's it's just so beneficial on so many levels. And Cal being able to deliver a message to a Sloan, that's going to go, a really long way. And I think whenever that opportunity exists, I know Cal caught him the other day. And they have that meeting after the bullpen, and I'm sure, Stoney's just soaking up everything that Cal's saying, and those interactions, those things that they learn when it's player to player, and they learn something like that. Those are the things you don't ever forget as a player, and those can only serve to help them going forward.
What do you think about Cole Young when you saw him for the first time this spring?
He looks great, again, we talk a lot about using the off season to your advantage, and he's example A of that. Making big changes to his body, I think that helps your confidence grow so much, and he looks tremendous. I mean, I remember hugging him, and like my arms could barely get around him. He's put on a lot of good muscle, and he looks outstanding. So that's what you love to see, and again, for someone who's so young to have learned that and to have used it like that, the off season, that's huge.
40 games, he was unbelievable, and then for 40, probably whatever it was, he really struggled. Is he somewhere in between? Where is that? What do you think he can be? Because you don't have that kind of success and not be like able to kind of reproduce it somehow.
Yeah, I think that question's still kind of out there. I think he is a tremendous talent. He's a guy that can hit. And getting to the big leagues for the first time, especially when you're young like that, there's a lot that's going on. And I think he's done a really good job now of understanding who he is as a player and his identity. And we're going to see those consistent results coming out of him. And I think as we get into the season, and I'm excited to see what Cole can do. I think he's had a great opportunity to learn. From JP in the middle. He's got Naylor on his left now. They're going to help bring him along, a lot as well, and that's going to help him, as he gains experience in this game. But what he has done in the off season, where he is now, I think he's in a great headspace and a great physical space, and I think with him the sky can be the limit.